What is up, guys? Media Master Menard back here with another video. As promised, I am reviewing Solo, a Star Wars story right now. I'm just getting back from the theater. I watched the Thursday night premiere. The theater was buzzing. There was tons of excitement for the newest installment in the Star Wars spin-off movies. Before we get into the video, I want to apologize for my microphone again. I know it isn't the best. I'm working on it. I promise I'm going to be better for you guys. But a little background on my Star Wars history. I didn't grow up watching Star Wars, actually. I'm a little younger than Star Wars, quite a bit younger, actually. And I found out Star Wars in about 6th grade, and I really loved it. I loved all the movies. I watched them, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, and I really loved them all. I even liked the prequels. I know a lot of you guys are going to give me flack for that, but I found the political intrigue and characters like Darth Maul and Obi-Wan to be so cool, and I really loved how they implemented them into the universe. I also have watched the Clone Wars TV series, and I'm a huge fan of that, and I really like what that has done, and I can't wait for Disney to just keep on building more and more to this Star Wars universe. But that's enough about me. Let's get in the movie and talk about how it was. This is a reminder, this is going to be a spoiler-free review. I don't plan on doing too many spoiler reviews of movies, unless they are old movies that have been out for a while. I don't want to ruin movies for people. That's one of my pet peeves, and I really don't like when people do that. But that's enough rambling. I think Alden Ehrenreich, I think that's how you pronounce it, I'm not sure, did as good of a job as possible replacing Harrison Ford as Han Solo. It was one of my biggest fears, and I think they handled it well, and he did a good job. I also thought Emilia Clarke did a really good job as Kira, kind of Han Solo's love interest as a kid. I thought that was a very interesting dynamic to the movie and how they interacted as kids, and you kind of see them grow up and how they change throughout the movie. I thought that was really good. Donald Glover, of course, delivers a great performance as Lando Calrissian. I couldn't think of somebody better to play him. He gets the voice right. He kind of sounds like the original Lando, and he just has that charm and cool vibes. He's just such a cool character, and Donald Glover is such a great, just overall personality. He's kind of pervasive in pop culture. I also thought Woody Harrelson did a great job playing Beckett. He was this cool kind of swashbuckler, leader of the gang, cool type of guy. He was kind of Han Solo's mentor and kind of taught Han what to do and how to be the type of guy that we see in A New Hope. But moving on from the actors, this movie kind of starts off with Han Solo as a child and kind of seeing what happened on his home planet and how he wants to escape that planet, and then it just goes through his whole journey of how he became who he is and what shaped him to be who he is and who we know and love. As with Rogue One, there's a certain extent of predictability within this film. You kind of know what's going to happen. You know what the end overall result is going to be, as we've seen the movies 4, 5, and 6, and 7, and know what happens to Han Solo and his story throughout that. So we know where he's going to end up at the end of this film, but that doesn't make the ride any less enjoyable. It's a very fun film that you can just enjoy, sit back, and it's an adventure. They talk about it in the movie too. Han's going on an adventure, he's doing his own thing, he's a lawbreaker. And I think this aspect is pretty cool of this movie, as in episode 4, A New Hope, they kind of tell, not show, that Han Solo is this type of person, but in this movie we kind of get the show, not tell, and they kind of show us how he became this person, how he is this person. His personality showed us who he is instead of telling us about who he is and his reputation that he's earned throughout the years. I'm not a critic, nor do I pretend to be one, but I thought the pacing in this movie was great. I thought there was the right amount of action at the right times consistently, and I thought it brought you along to the next plot point and the next problem very well. I just think it's really cool also that, unlike in Rogue One, we're seeing main characters in the Star Wars franchise front and center and seeing how they are. I mentioned it earlier, how Han Solo becomes who he is, but kind of Lando Calrissian, getting more and more background on him and what he was like and his gambling and all that cool aspect, the mystique around Lando Calrissian. I know my thoughts are a little jumbled and all over the place, but this is kind of a first reactions review video, so please bear with me. I think going along the lines of predictability. There is one caveat. At the beginning, it shows Han Solo, and this isn't a spoiler, this is shown in the first 5 minutes of the movie. He enlists in the Imperial Army to become a pilot. And kind of along the whole movie, you kind of are rooting for Han Solo and what he's doing, and kind of there is one kind of plot twist where you kind of think about, is what Han Solo doing really good? And I think that's really good to kind of have those gray moral conflicts that make you think and respect the audience's intelligence. The Battlefront 2 campaign tried to discuss this theme of going into the Empire's perspective and seeing what they think, but I thought it didn't handle it in a very mature way that respected the audience's intelligence, and it seemed like a cop-out as immediately Iden Versio left the Empire and was fighting against it within 2 missions. Now back to the movie, I digress. I thought the music in this film was fantastic. There was original score, but there was also some throwback tracks to the original movies that were just so nostalgic and really just got you excited when the Millennium Falcon did something really cool, or just when anything cool was revealed. You heard a classic theme and you just remembered the old Star Wars movies. One thing that you're going to learn from this channel is that I am a sucker for really good music. So this is a really big plus for this movie in my book. I love great music, movies, video games, anime. I think it's a centerpiece to making a good quality product. One thing that's kind of alarming to me is this recent trend in Disney / Marvel / Star Wars movies of trying to make a lot of jokes at sometimes not the right time. It seems like some are hits and some you can tell they were trying to make a joke, but nobody in the theater was laughing, and I don't know. I remember The Last Jedi had a lot of those. Avengers Infinity War recently had a lot of those, and Solo wasn't as many as those two, but there was a couple here and there that I thought were out of place and awkward, particularly with the robot L3 and Lando Calrissian. I wasn't a fan of that whole dynamic. The L3 robot in general I found to be somewhat annoying, so take that for what you will. I wasn't the biggest fan of that part in that character, but I don't think it detracted from the movie too much. There were a couple cameos or guest appearances or nods to fans of a series, and I'm not going to talk about them because they could be spoilers, but there's one scene in the yacht in the hologram. If you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about, and if you've seen that in the movie, go ahead and leave me a like, because that was just epic, and let's just say Han Solo did shoot first. But that about wraps it up for the reaction / review video. I thought it was really cool overall to see Han Solo and the Empire kind of in its early infancy stages and kind of see what it was like, and it added a lot to the Star Wars universe's lore. So I thought that was really good. I'm going to go ahead and give this an 8.5 out of 10. I think you guys should really go see this movie. I thought it was a very good movie. I know some of the critics have been wishy-washy, but I think it's definitely a must-see, especially if you're a Star Wars fan. But if you liked the video, leave a like, subscribe, comment on the video what you would like to see from the next Star Wars anthology film. I'd like to see Kenobi or an Old Republic movie, but I'm not going to hold my breath on that Old Republic movie. But if you do choose to subscribe, I'm going to be putting out a bunch of more content here coming up soon about gaming, movies, TV, anime, all sorts of topics like that. So if you like those, like I said, hit that subscribe button. And until next time, this is Master Menard signing out.